some water now.
Yeah. Hey. Ooh. Hey. Detonate the bomb, ring the alarm. I'm stepping on the beat like a napalm swarm. I got the bees in my mental, swerving like a nigga out of his mind. They send me to the mental hospital a few times before I spit this bar, cause it's sick as fuck. Niggas know I'm written up, anything I spit is stuck to the bottom of this chew like gum. You can't get it off your mind, man. I'm feeling like I'm sung like the unsung song. Hung drum hard, feel the pain like I don't wanna sing songs, but I let it go when I scream out loud. Find a new word from my mentor to sing out. I'm back again, screaming it, moving it, passing with my niggas, then we feeling like the movies, man. Moving, man, pass it to my man, to the side of me, cause I'm out of bars right now, you know I'm lying.
Hey, hard on my sleeve, I'm a champ, yeah. Might be the greatest up next, yeah. Swing when I wanna do, rap, stay on Sonable, keep it 100 like text sense. Can't even lie, I've been stressed, yeah. Changing game buttons, I press, yeah. I can be firm when hoes on my line at the time of the gym where I flex, yeah. This shit, it sound like the best shit I ever wrote. This shit out of this world, need telescope, man, I been fly, thought I never float. No, I ain't no Pennywise, but penny pinching till they give me mine. Tell my mama, let's just give me time, just from here for I got these send me signs. I admit that I'ma be here forever, ever. Tell her like, hold up, don't slow me down. Bet then they hate it, don't let me now. Never been done, why dumb it down? I've been on top, give a run around like a coach, just coach up and bending now. In the ring like a boxer, can give me rhyme. Man, I'm still at the top, ain't no tipping now. Please, pass me the mic. I'm overlapping these other rappers like overbites. Ain't no question who dopest. I clarify, put ease on your mind. Forget your problems, come and kick it with I. Dismiss and forget that at time, but witness the illest alive. Dope is death, what you been doing? Man, I make moves in music. Stupid dogs, you niggas useless. Ain't got no clue to this process. Guessing your profit's useless. Hide it in the third six after too sick. Hey, doc, that's too sick. Shit. Going against me, hell of a standoff. They plan on stopping and blocking me like they ran off, man. Quarterback and play action, y'all want the handoff. Please can y'all hop up off my D, get a new hand job. I tried to be an inspiration, yo fuck a day job. I wanna gently kick A and J out of they spot, man. The fanciest clowns, they cool in Maybach and ride around the town and you can hit them when the bass drop.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to Vine Tree Radio. It's your boy West here chilling with
Wowie, how's it going?
You know we got a guest. Introduce yourself.
Dope Dev here. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming through the show, man. It was great having you here right now.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I love it. It's peaceful up here.
Right?
It's nice. It's nice.
You know, it's good vibes. Got everybody calm and chill right now. It's been kind of cold out there lately, but it's good to, know that everybody's in good spirits today. You got a short, sleeve on. You know what I mean? We was all bundled up the other days. You know what I'm saying? Like other days our fits was looking mad different.
This is long sleeve though, low key.
It's long sleeve, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like we look one layered up out here today. But so usually at this part of the pod, we get into introduction and how we met and all that. But this is one of those interesting pods where this is one of our first times really getting to meet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's one of
a lot of other people have like introduced us. Friend or friend. Shout out to Jordan for cooking this up.
Shout out to her. Yeah,
definitely. But
that's good looks.
I would say that I like these type of interviews and pods because you get to learn about people from a perspective that we often don't. Because a lot of times, we're trying to craft certain things out of the people because we know, they do this or they do that, or we're asking things to, that they want to talk about. But in this instance, this kind of can go anywhere about yourself, really, because it's about the essence of this pod, like our perspective and individuality, like and shit. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff we touched on before is very unique. You know what I mean? From what you describe about yourself, like.
Yeah, it's my first time meeting you guys, and we're just walking in here talking oh shit, this is probably part of the interview right here. Like we're just
exactly, yeah. Like a lot of the stuff we're talking about sound like a pod already, and that's kind of I guess the dope part you would say about like when you get to meet somebody on the pod is like everything just sounds like damn, like it's good to know about. Like,
no, it's true. I feel like it's one of those things like how you were saying. Normally when we start the pod, we're doing like an introduction of how we met the different guests through here, and more often than not, it's like a story, or at least to some degree we know like the background of certain things, and so it's like to us it's nothing new, but for us this is like a whole new experience because this is the first time we've had someone that neither of us had met prior, and
it's
so
like who's this guy?
It's cool. Like this is what I love about this, and I was actually really looking forward to this podcast because I think this is, in my opinion, I think the start of how ideally I think this would expand further, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So this is really cool. I'm excited.
So I'm interested to find out at least how you started getting to make music and wanting to be an artist, at least, because that's something, you know, everybody kind of shares universally, like that spark that hit them. And was it something you wanted to do as a kid? Like, were you those kids that had videos of you as like Mac Miller, you know, like as a baby rapping? You
shit,
seen
I
that?
wish. That shit's so dope. Like seeing that, like how people, it's like destined for some people. Like me, it was not like that. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I'm not even gonna cap. Lil Wayne got me started on music.
That's good.
I fucking love Wayne.
That was like your first favorite artist?
That was like my first favorite artist because my cousin came out. I was living in Virginia. I'm from Virginia, by the way, Norfolk, Virginia. And before I moved to Texas, which, you know, was before I moved here, LA, he came out there to visit, and he's playing all these Wayne mixtapes and shit. And I'm like, I've heard music. I'm listening to music in the car with my parents all the time and shit like that, but I've never just sat and processed music. And I'm listening to this nigga go in, and I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, I want to rap. So I used to write shit, and I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible. But over time, I just kept going because it was something I enjoyed, and it was definitely a way for me to, like, get away from, get out my head sometimes. And you know, it's a way for me to enjoy life. I love doing it. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. I mean, shit, basketball, I'm too short. I'm all right, but I'm too short.
Did you try playing ball when you were like young? You like
yeah,
sports and all that?
I played basketball. I played soccer. Fucking yeah. It was random, but I tried. I dabbled and dabbled.
I was really into basketball when I was young. I tried like a lot of other ones. Football was the one I wasn't necessarily into like that, but I tried. But ball was one where I felt like, until I liked music, like that was the only thing I liked. I feel like as much.
Oh, damn.
Until I found that, you know, like when I'm like, oh, I want to make music and da da da.
Right.
So I took like I said, we've talked about this a lot. Like I played piano or tried to at a point in time.
Yeah.
But even that I wasn't that into in the way I was into basketball at the time until later on when I found rapping and writing music. I got more into that part about it, I guess.
Got you.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting because I was thinking about this right now. I was like, did I, like, because like you said, it's interesting seeing how some people are destined for like certain things, and or like you see those stories of people doing one thing since they were a kid going all the way
right
to that, and it's like, wow, did I mess up because I didn't
do
like,
that? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's hard because like I feel like, you know, it kind of make like in the sense like I didn't know for a long time what I wanted to like focus on. So like as a kid I feel like I jumped around between like a lot of different sports and like hobbies and activities. Like definitely loved playing like basketball, football, a little bit of like street baseball and like soccer as well.
So you jumped
volleyball.
Around a lot too.
I did. I feel like as a kid, like I would do like a sport for like a year or two and then go on to the next one. And like little by little like that, or at one point like I was doing like 2 or 3 sports, like, you know, just seasonally, like ones in the summer.
I think maybe it's like a path, you know what I mean, like one of them like kind of takes you to the next one. At least that's how it was for me. Like whatever, you learn something about it that you like, but then you also learn something about it you didn't like, and that kind of pushed me to try the next thing, like
shape you into like
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's actually super true, and I think that was actually kind of where I was kind of thinking with this, is that I think part of me, what I've realized in like reflecting on like that early time of like seeing like how come I didn't just do one thing all the way through, like at first that affected me and like why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do, but then as I kind of grew older and started like thinking about it and reflecting more, I started to think and realize that like I don't view myself as like a singular or like
doing one thing and one thing only.
Like monolithic, like, you know, just like this is all I'm about.
This is all I'm doing.
So that's what you're saying, like those times don't go to waste in a sense. They're not waste times. They're only wasteful times if like you were meant to only do one thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just kind of was just like like you said, a moment to learn from each and everything and kind of build on that to
shape you to who you are right now. And that's cool. That's how I am. It was like a dabbling a whole bunch of stuff. Acting, sports here and there, whatever, and shit, man, like I'm here now, and like I love writing, I love doing this music shit. I'm trying to learn, you know, different instruments and stuff like that, but I don't think there's like any like accidents. I think like shit is kind of meant to happen, like you know.
So what age did you start putting out like songs, like because I've like, you were talking about the age when you like heard rapping? Yeah, like, all right, I'm into this.
And that's like when I was like shit,
how
maybe
long did
13,
it take
14?
from like that 13 phase to then being like, all right, I'm gonna put out a song?
When I was like 16, 17, but I didn't.
That's wild to me though, because
yeah.
I feel like that was a similar journey, but it's wild to me that that's the time it. Like, that's how motivated like youth be. Like, from like the time we get that spark to like 16, like we get it done. Like we do something. Yeah,
and I think everybody has like a different time where they feel that too. Like my time is kind of like more like steady. But maybe right now, maybe you know. So I mean, I'm here today, and like I said, it didn't start off this way. I wasn't where I am today then, as far as my confidence level and like what I'm doing and stuff like that, and you know how I feel about and what I know now. So.
Yeah. So you'd say maybe there was like a point in time where like that shifted for you, like outside of doing it, where like you gained a certain amount of like or knowledge or like self-confidence in what you were doing?
When I started meeting other people who were into the same thing, and then starting to like only focus like well, not only focus on that, because we just talked about like, oh, this isn't the one thing, but like just putting most of my focus into this one thing and like,
so, like
trying
their
to learn
dreams
about
and efforts and shit like that.
Right.
I feel like we've talked about that a few times in the sense of like when you get around like just the idea of you are who you are around, but then when you get around people that I guess are also in the same mindset of you in sense of pursuit of it, of what it is, even if we're not in pursuit of the same thing. Like people are in pursuit of, you know, they want to be an actor, they want to be this or that, but that kind of does help you gain that sort of, I guess, like 100%. Sureness about yourself, you know what I mean? Because you reflect, you're like, okay, like it's just seeing other people do shit in general, you know what I mean? You're like, all right, like it's like in school. I used to go to the library to do homework rather than do homework in my dorm and shit sometimes, because it would just be like, you just feel more in grind mode when you see everybody else really grinding on next to you and shit. All right, for sure. Like, let me not get off my phone. Like,
definitely. No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Because, like I told you, I wasn't as good. I got around like a couple guys like that also did music and they rap, and like we had like formed this little group and shit. And these motherfuckers could rap like for real, like way better than me. And I was like, oh nah, like I gotta get better. So I'm pushing myself to become better. You know, eventually getting better at what I'm doing, because I think like being around like people kind of push you like just doing the same shit, like, and you see them doing like, oh damn, so and so, you know, we cool, and you like fucking way up here, and I'm like, damn, we doing the same thing, why am I down here? He's, you know. So
speaking on like the idea of like fate and like how things are supposed to, can you kind of like touch on how that moment was, finding like those folks that were involved in the music, and like how that felt to just kind of like felt right in the moment and kind of push you forward?
Yeah, because it was, I mean, okay, so this is in high school. This is like in high school when I'm meeting these people, and we lived in the same area, went to the same school, like just hung out after school, just playing basketball after school and shit. And then I don't even remember when it was, but one day we just all shit smoking, listening to music and shit. Motherfuckers just start freestyling, and then it was like, oh shit, and everybody started freestyling. Then it eventually just became like a group thing. Oh shit, we just want to do this music shit. Okay, cool. But we also used to like sit around and listen to. We weren't listening to like rappers and shit at that time. Like we're just listening to nothing but producers like Ninth Wonder and fucking old shit like MF Doom. We just listening to all classic shit, and we not even listening to like what's being played at that time. But I think just around high school era, like me meeting those guys, that kind of like. That was fate, man, because I was interested in the music, but I wasn't like taking it serious yet. But like being around them, you know, I ended up taking it serious and like pushing myself. And yeah,
that's really inspiring, bro, because I feel like that fate that you speak on is something that I feel like really leads a lot of artists to the path that they're on. Like, and a lot of times they do go through the same experience that you mentioned with the sports thing, where it's like you learn these things from like the different places the fate is going to take you. You know what I mean? Like, for speaking like for myself, for other people's examples, like you come across people that like I've come across people like that in high school that really helped me cultivate my sound and who I was, and I was in a group, and I feel like that was so needed for that at the time. Like, and it was the same type of feeling of just everybody kind of just being like, damn, like we just want to do this music shit. But then whenever that got colluded, I still made room for like that to come in, and it always did. You know what I mean? Like it would always keep kind of leading me, like where it was like, all right, and then I moved and I met Mauricio, and then I got around other folks, and then even in then it's like right now, looking at the last new session I was with my homies that are Fran and Derek, where it's like when I get around them, I feel like what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you just hear everybody going in, you're like, damn, I gotta get better.
Damn, I gotta get better. Yeah.
Like, and that's the feeling you want to feel, like, you know.
That pushes you. I think somebody needs. You know, you always need that extra push, like just to go harder, and that's what anything you do. So shout out to those guys, Dope Davis, Dev, Taj back at home. But yeah, they definitely pushed me like to where I am now. I continue to push myself, even though like some of the guys maybe fell off and stopped doing what they were doing. I was pushed to the point to where I wanted to focus on this, and this is what I wanted to do. So
hell yeah.
One thing I have, I guess, on a side note is, how do you feel about like SoundCloud versus like, you know, like the streaming shit when you put it out? Because in a lot of people's journey in that, I feel like their decision about that comes into play.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
But between
like,
releasing it,
like
on
when you
SoundCloud
change to being like, all right, now I want to go through district
streaming
or whatever,
services,
if I can put my shit out all the way. Because I feel like that change is something that like is a part of that journey for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right.
When they're like, all right, I'm about this, I'm putting it out, and then they're like, damn, now I'm meeting these other people that is doing it on this level, and now I got to figure out how to make this change. Like,
yeah, I still feel like, I mean, you're more than welcome to release whatever you want on SoundCloud. So people still use SoundCloud. I transferred from SoundCloud to streaming platforms myself because it was easy access for like most of the people that was listening to my music. It was harder for them to get to SoundCloud, and because I know a while back, I don't know if it's an update or anything, I know a while back they had to like go through this link and then click on this just to like listen to the song. And you know, people's attention spans is like this, so it's like, bro, I don't want to click all this shit. I just want to go to the library, go get the shit easy and click it, and I can just save it to my shit. But so I think it's just easy, more accessible to the people that listen to my stuff. So
I feel that. So essentially, it's like the same thing like the other homie. I don't know who was talking about this, but SoundCloud, in a sense, it's not like it's dead in a way. It's just more like accessible to other people. But there is like, I guess, certain benefits to the algorithm still, probably, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, probably so. I've still
I don't know
seen
about it
like,
because I don't know, because I'm on the same wave of like where like I had maneuvered my stuff off of it, and I guess it was for that same reasoning. You know what I mean? It was just more so that like I felt like the majority place where people were listening to it at just wasn't there.
It just wasn't there. I still got my shit up there. So if anybody wants to go check out my SoundCloud,
I know I should have kept my shit up there. Every time I talk to them, you feel like I should have definitely kept my shit up there.
Yeah, I mean, that would, you still don't have any of the files like in like a hard drive or anything?
I got a couple.
You just re-upload them.
Maybe like 2.
Just throw them up.
All right, got you.
But
because there was one I said
I'm
where
pretty
it was
sure
like
you
features.
still got SoundCloud fans.
It was like it was like a feature songs where it was like other people that worked with it, and I was like, I want to remember like, oh, we made this song. Like I kept a couple of those.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you should definitely like re-put them out because, like, I feel like you've shared a lot of.
Those are like the come up
having,
moments.
Yeah.
For real, like those moments. Those are like the real like moments of like. Of just feeling it, you know? Where it's like it wasn't all the way there, but the certain songs you hear and you're like, damn, I was touching on what I wanted to do.
I mean, shit, like I said, because I know I put something out maybe last year on SoundCloud. Like for a brief second, I was just seeing like the numbers. And people are still listening to the shit, so I was like, okay, cool. Like,
I know it's wild the way stuff like works in that way. That
Yeah.
like so NFTs and all that shit works. Like things existing though, even in a singular, just like where they're at. That sometimes just drives people listening to. Like you could drop some shit and just be like, I'm gonna put it there, just see what happens.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers could just start bumping it on SoundCloud just with the fact of just being like, I just want to hear this song. If they really want to hear that song, you know?
Right.
I agree.
Same thing like the dumb NFTs that sell where you don't think no one will cop this, and it's just like, damn, they really just want to copy it like just because it's only there and it's just the one like I don't see why they would cop this, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like there's some ones where it's like why did you cop that? Like
There's definitely a mix of that, but even in that like say like the antique art market, it's based off notoriety. You know what I mean? So like the ability to push people to go to these individual platforms, whether it be a SoundCloud or an NFT or whatever, you know what I mean? That's just like something that's a little bit more out the box from the regular.
It just has to have a draw.
It has to have a good enough draw, and I feel like it's something that like it still exists, and there's still platforms like the SoundCloud for it to exist. But realistically, I think that like it's harder to get that kind of draw for like any individual artist that isn't like on a like a big level. Like biggest thing that comes to my head right now is like the Kanye stem player, right? Like that's a form of making only this can be accessed through here, and like the only reason that thing is selling the way it's selling is because it's Kanye that's dropping it. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
genius, no pun intended.
Facts. Super genius. Like his marketing and his way of going about things is unparalleled. You know what I mean? That's just hands down.
Because he probably already made more than what he would have made if he put out streaming.
He did. He did. He posted it. He posted that he made like
in like 3 hours.
That 3 hours
Wow.
like way more than he would have made. It was like $2 million he made.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But within that, I feel like maybe not only, but there's very few artists that can kind of do moves like that where they're just like, all right, well, let me just put out something in a whole different sphere.
I guess it's just on what scale. Like everybody could do it. It just won't have the same effect. Like on what scale? You know what I mean? Like the scale of Kanye, that's a big effect. If you don't have that much pull, the scale of it will be much small scale.
Small, yeah.
But I think but exactly because of that, I can understand why you were saying like having to put stuff on the other platforms so that people, it's accessible, because as much as like we would sometimes try to push people into this one one thing, like I feel like it's really difficult, especially as like time keeps going on and more platforms become available.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
because there's plenty of them.
There's plenty of them. Just thinking of, this is making me want to ask you about the one conversation we did have on the docket is TikTok. I did notice that you do like videos of like freestyling on TikTok, and this relates to this in a way of like these specific platforms and content and putting people to like, you know what I'm saying? Because I would say, like, do the freestyles, do you post them on there exclusively, or do you do the TikTok link and then put that on the Instagram?
I'll do it on multiple just so everybody can see it. Like I said, not everybody's on TikTok, but the people that are, they get to see it. And then when I bring it back to Instagram and Twitter,
I'm not unfamiliar
Facebook,
with that. That's why I'm actually really interested in that, because I'm familiar with, I guess to some degree, just like freestyling on IG, and like I've like done freestyles and I put hashtags and shit like that. But then people have always kind of told me like, yo, you should try these challenges or do this or that
on TikTok.
Even one homie that I've had on here, he's done one where it's like they have the beat and you finish it. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, these are.
They have some crazy beats too.
That's what I'm saying. It's a wild world. Like I'd
here.
like to know like how'd you find out about that, and like how'd you approach getting into it, I guess.
Scrolling through that shit, and I'll see like people would do the hashtags and whatever, the beat challenges, whatever. I'll see that, and I was just like, well, shit, I got all this shit, like, you know, I could just do and just post it, you know, whatever. So I would do that, do a little freestyle. I'll try to, you know, keep it, you know, times apart or whatever, so I'm just not overloading everybody with my shit. So but I'll just post it, and then like the first one I did got like, you know, good number of views, so I was like, okay, cool, well, I'll probably keep doing this shit, so running it up on the views and shit. So that's a good thing. That means more and more people are watching. But TikTok, like the hashtags just work just like Instagram or whatever, but for them, like they'll post it to like the main page. It's called like For You page or some shit like that. That means like people just scrolling and they're gonna see your shit like regardless. So that's random people. So I mean, it was just like a good
it's
thing.
It's a good algorithm. I hear, essentially.
I hear it from a lot of artists. It's a great algorithm. So I just tried it out, gave it a little try, and it worked. So
in the sense of like, even when you try to really get your ad or spread on sometimes on IG, it still kind of bubbles you in a weird way.
Yeah.
In comparison to TikTok, it's like it seems to not bubble you as much. Like you get a little random like jug to somebody that you really would have never got to see your shit.
Yeah, Instagram is really I'm really upset with Instagram right now, the way they're doing things, but shout out to Instagram. I have such a hard time, some of my shit, like getting it promoted. Like if I trying to push it some more, they'd be like, hey, you can't do this in here. I'm like, damn,
I'm in that
like,
right now. I'm in that right now. Definitely our account is good, my account is not. Like my personal account is wild. Like and I don't know why. I think maybe now it had to do with what you're saying, like trying to like message them to get some shit approved
to get some
too
shit
many
approved.
times. Like what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Like I messaged you for it to go through too many times. Like, yo, it didn't go through.
They're just like kickback.
They're like, nah, like you wildin'.
That's just wild.
Damn. So what do you think that like I mean, it already kind of has shown to grow so big, like TikTok, like over Instagram, but do you think that's going to be like the thing, like where everyone, because initially it was like, say it started at like cassettes, and then it went to CDs, and then it went to like Napster, and then after Napster it went to iTunes, and then after iTunes, when it finally went to streaming, then it was like streaming platforms kind of had to like fight for that digital right. So it was like
Right.
maybe YouTube and then like
I mean, I think
Spotify, but then now TikTok, because I feel like
I guess, do you feel like you ever will monetize your TikToks, or there'll be like, or do you plan on it?
yeah, but I don't know, maybe so. I know it's the thing right now, because like literally somebody, it can be an artist that you haven't heard from in a while. That artist can have their song played and it be a popular little trend, and that artist is now getting paid off of a trend, and they might not even know, like, damn, where's all this money coming from? And it's TikTok. Fucking somebody's playing out your shit because somebody done made up a dance to your song, and they don't even notice. It's like kids, like the younger generation, they're making up dances to like these songs they don't even know about, that came out back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and they're making these people money. So I think it's a great avenue right now. I don't know what the next thing is, but
That's
you know
what I
they're
was
always
saying. You were
coming up
asking
with
what
shit.
the next thing was, right?
I was kind of curious about that, but now that we're on this topic, I'm kind of curious, how does the payout system on TikTok work?
That shit is weird. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing as every other platform, like, as far as I know. Just kind of like based off views? Based off of views, based off of, I think it's, just based off the views. And, like, okay, so if I'm an artist, if somebody's using my song, then that's, like, it kind of counts towards, like, as a stream.
Like,
Okay,
you can claim it, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it goes under like when you go through like distro or masters or whatever, like you select TikTok, right?
Because yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. So they'll put it up there once you publish your songs or whatever. They'll put it up there on all the streaming sites.
Oh, I got you.
And
the same way, like,
TikTok's
with the
included in
instant
the
shit.
streaming. Yeah. So, and then you can, do whatever you want, edit it, what part of the song you want on there and shit like that. And
I had to get savvy with that, man. My homie said he's gonna show me, because I'm gonna do it for the pod. I'm gonna put like little like sauce, like, clips, because I be seeing cool shit where they have like the little words pop up under, and they'll be looking all serious. They'll be like, today I had a thing. Like, imagine this shit under me right now. It's like, I once put my all in, and then it worked. That should be looking dead ass serious too.
I pictured the quotes in front of you just now. Yeah, that's why. Nah, it's they do that. I mean, it's a little time consuming, but it's simple to do, bro. Yeah,
I'm gonna check that shit out. I do most of the posts for like our Instagram and shit right now. That for a while was like annoying for me, but now I'm like, it's just rhythm. The same shit I feel like I was saying the other day. It's just rhythm. Like, once you get into the rhythm of it, then it's just a flow. Like, you just hit it with the same one motion.
You got your audience watching, and you grow it, and you know how to do it.
But fucking random question. What is the music scene like in Virginia, if any? Or did you get to see it?
Man, I didn't get to see it.
You did before. So
I did way before.
What about in Texas?
In Texas?
So I'm curious about the scenes in other places. You know what I mean? Because I'm somebody who's about to go check out some scenes in other places.
Okay, so I was in Houston for like most of my life. Grew up there, middle school, high school, some college, and the music scene there is pretty diverse. We have a few promoters that's like really big out there. They put on a lot of shows. Breezy's one of them. She puts on a lot of shows for up and coming artists and like underground artists or whatever. And that was really cool of her because I got to participate in a lot of those shows. Yeah, it's wild, man. You just have to like literally like in Houston just get out there and go like, okay, you'll see some shit. Like it's real easy to find a show to get into. But other than that, man, it's pretty diverse. A lot of people come with like a lot of different shit. And
you ever been to South by Southwest?
Yeah. I have.
We were trying to go this year. There was like some ad we saw and we applied to, and I feel like it was a scam now, but maybe it wasn't. You know what I mean? Because it looked real.
No, it's so real.
Not this concert, but there was like this dude.
Shut up.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
shit. Because the concert was real as fuck. That's why we wanted to go. That's how they got us.
That's in Austin. In Austin. So the music scene out there, you'll know, like festivals, South by Southwest.
Bro, that's like a dream. Like I seen like an ad for that, and I was like, yo. Like, I'd want to go to this shit.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
But it was just like a little last stage that was just promoting somewhere, and they were just trying to say like,
that's
yo,
you
could win this, you could like promote. Like, it was a contest.
Oh, gotcha. That's how some of them are set up, because promoters, they will try to make some money off the shit, because they can get a little venue or whatever and be like, okay, well, you can sell these tickets or whatever and get your money and shit like that. But I have performed at South by Southwest, and that was pretty sick. I had a good time there, and I used to go out there because you could go to shows like a few years back. You could go to shows, and it may be I went and saw Pusha T for free, so that's all. Pusha T and right next door, who's performing?
Cause I heard it's like that. Like
I think
people
Kid
will
Cudi
just do shows like next.
Yeah,
they'll just do shows like at the bar over here.
Yeah,
and they'll be like a room over here is doing a show. And you won't even know like.
Fader Ford and all that shit. They're out there like that. That shit is so cool. Like you have concerts literally everywhere where you gotta literally be like, oh damn, which one we gonna go to? So
that's so dope.
How big is it spread out?
It's spread out all over the city. So well, most of the inner city for Austin is spread out pretty much in between there. But Austin is pretty small, so it's like everything you can get to, you know, with traffic being there, would be like 30-40 minutes. But they'll have stuff on the outskirts, like little venues here and there. But most of the stuff is like inner city, like downtown Austin, 6th Street, shit like that. So
see, I've never heard of anything really like that. Like I've heard of like Coachella and shit like that, but like that's like an outskirts desert area, and that's the closest thing where I feel like it's like a town. But this is an actual town. Yeah, that's like a town that they make. Like
this is something that they're just taking the town that they already have and
they just take it over and it becomes music town.
It just become music town. So I mean, they don't change anything besides like the big brands. They'll put their shit up over it, but like all the shit's already there. That's like it's just a bunch of venues. Yeah.
Damn, by any chance were you there in those years when like I always hear about like those famous TDE performances? Like the day like Black Hippie was there and like they.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't make it to those. Like I said, so many people that like perform like all at once.
I always hear some crazy shit about the floor breaking at that one, or like maybe it happened at other venues. Like the floor was like about to break.
Oh shit! I'm pretty sure if it was jumping like that, it might. Because
and I was like, what the fuck? Like that's crazy to think that like, bro, like
it's
you can
a
just
lot
be
of
rocking
fucking
a house show so hard that a floor is just about to give in.
Everybody comes from everywhere to go. Like that city is jumping like around South by Southwest. Like when that time comes, it's crazy. Like it's crazy.
Would you do it again?
Would I do it again? It ain't been jumping the last couple of years, but I definitely would do it again. I wouldn't mind. I definitely would.
Why do you think it hasn't been jumping?
That was our question too, because of COVID.
Because of COVID, because of the stuff. I think after Tyler and them had that little shit out there where that shit happened, it kind of died down. That shit kind of died down after
Travis shit. The Travis.
No, it was no, that was in Houston. That's Travis shit. I'm talking about like it was like 1 year. I think Tyler performed, and like a fucking riot broke out or some shit like out there in Austin, and I think after that kind of died down because those years before with them being there, that shit was crazy.
Oh, I know exactly. Now I remember what you're talking about. It was at South by Southwest.
Yeah, that was at South by.
Yeah.
What was it for? What was the riot about?
It was just like in those times when like a bunch of riots was popping off.
But it was
like the Odd
shit,
Future. It was an Odd Future time.
Yeah,
like when he got banned from all that shit, like in New Zealand and like London and all that.
Yeah.
People were just wilding back then for them in general.
yeah.
Like if they came out, like they was going crazy.
They was going fucking stupid. Yeah, but no, the Travis shit that was in Houston. That was Astroworld.
Texas goes hard, I see.
yeah, that's why I was thinking it maybe would still be lit because I was like, I know they don't be following the regulations like that over there. Like maybe maybe they just the same fest. Like
Texas does its own thing. They don't care about what they make their own rules and shit. So you know.
Can you talk on that a little bit, like what it's like living in Texas, having because I know that
versus here. Yeah. I feel like that would be because I have family from there too, and I've been back and forth. But I guess living there back and forth, like it always felt night and day to me. But like night to you, I feel like maybe you really see the full scope of it. Maybe
it's I would say the thing that's different there is the weather. The weather, because like the distance, like I know my commute right now, like it's pretty much the same because LA's pretty big, it's pretty spread out. That's the same thing with Houston. Texas is big as shit, spread out. Like everything that you need to go to, like I guess if 9 to 5 wise or whatever, it's inner city. You have to come from like way out here to go somewhere or some shit like that. Mine is like 30 to 40 minutes, sometime maybe an hour. I mean, but it was like that in Texas. It's the same shit. Food's different. Y'all got better Mexican food out here. I love that shit. That shit's great. I mean, it's just like little. It's like little shit. It's not like a big.
No, that's a compliment. Yeah, because like there's like Tex-Mex out there.
There's Tex-Mex.
That ain't the real shit.
Only thing y'all piss me off out here is like when I get nachos, they don't put queso on the shit. It's like actual shredded cheese. That It makes me mad every time, but I still eat that shit though.
Yeah, that is some like Southern California shit. Like the real bag of cheese.
The real bag of cheese. I'm like, I ordered myself like, yo, with a queso.
That's funny.
But it's like little shit, man. Like I said, like the biggest thing that's different is the weather. And the weather in Houston is...
Do you feel at all like the weather here is a fluke sometimes? Like it be colder than they say it is?
When I drove out here from Austin, when I came here, like I got 10 minutes away from the crib and it started raining. I'm like, yo, where the fuck am I at?
That's what everybody is like, bro, like the other homies in Virginia were like that. They be like, I'm not trying to wear my big jacket. Like I thought I would not have to bring this. Like,
God, you gotta keep closing the trunk for real here, because it'd be like, it's cold in the morning. It's beautiful in the daytime, and then as soon as that sun go down, God, it's cold. You
can't have just one solid fit. It's like a couple changes of fits.
Yeah, throughout the day. You got to change your fit throughout the day here. Yeah.
I think what doesn't help is like in the movies and stuff, whenever they show like sunny LA or beach LA, it's like always daytime, but they never show like the 2 hours later when everyone has to go run and grab the jacket.
Oh, they don't show that shit.
They gotta be like, all right, I'll catch you.
Yeah.
That part of the day.
It's like, it's past 3. Oh no, we gotta shut her down.
It's when the camera's cut, you know. But other than that, I guess one thing I was interested to, and we didn't talk about much, your music now.
Okay.
And your music as like an artist, like.
So
usually we know a lot more about that from the people, at least when they come. Right now is our first time really knowing, but I've only really heard like the one song I saw on your IG.
Okay.
And then some of your freestyle.
Okay, cool. So, Dope Dev is available on every platform. You can, even if you want to go back to SoundCloud, you can check it out. But I'm on every platform. I had released a project last year in July called Mainstream, and
that was the one I saw.
Yeah, Mainstream is a little project compiled with a couple producers I work with, including myself, and I was happy about that project. I just released a single called Fade not too long ago. That shit is wild. Please go check them out. Right now there we go. Please go check those out. Right now I'm out here in LA with some good friends, with some great friends of mine, and I'm still working on stuff, so taking my time to make myself happy as well as my audience happy right now, and there will be more on the way. Feel free to click those links, guys.
Anything currently inspiring you, like in your music?
Jazz music. I'm listening to a lot of jazz nowadays.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like old school jazz or new school jazz?
Old school jazz. Yeah. I just copped a Miles Davis record like a couple weeks ago.
Speaking of records, so I assume you listen to vinyls and stuff?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Like,
yeah. I'm really big on sampling and stuff, so I go to various record shops, and there's a lot here, and I love that. And go crate digging. I'll get some random shit sometimes, or some shit that I'm like kind of familiar with, like artist wise, and I'll listen to that shit. Find something I like.
Make me give out the gems. I haven't talked too much about my record collection.
Oh, please, by all means.
But I definitely have some cool shit. So that's some shit I got into over the past. Fuck, I feel like I couldn't date it because I feel like I told you when I was like first about you, because we had the same conversation. It was like, oh, I don't have none, and we were like, and you were like, nah, I don't know if I want to get into them, because you were like, I'll go too crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
you find some good shit, man. Like, I try to get some random shit sometimes, like some shit I don't even know about, just to listen to that shit, like. And you find the most random and shit, because I told you, like we were big on producers, like when we first started, so. Shit, listening to, like, I'm heavy on samples, listening to a lot of producers that used to do that shit. So like that's how I got into that shit. They used to
crate dig, bro.
Crate dig.
And like that's how they found all their drums or everything, strings, bro.
You find the craziest shit.
I was about to say, speaking of Miles Davis, like one of my first ones, I think that got me into was a Flying Lotus.
Flying
Lotus one.
Flying Lotus, yeah, that's another one of our guys.
I'm trying to think, isn't he? Like, that's who he's related to, right? Yeah, like
he's related to John Coltrane.
John Coltrane. I was like, it was one of those jazz greats. Yeah. I was like, I wasn't him.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. I need to get some John Coltrane too on vinyl.
Yeah, it's crazy. Blue Train. I'm sorry, I said Blue Dream. That's a strand of weed.
Blue Train.
Blue Train. Blue Train by John
With
Coltrane.
the Blue Dream.
With the Blue Dream. Yeah, that shit.
Perfect morning.
Yeah, probably go crazy, but definitely that's a good song.
That's a great
one. But
also got that. I think my first 3 to start me out was those people though. It was like Flying Lotus, Mac, and then someone else like that. Like, remember? It was like something. It was just all those like Thundercat.
Alchemist. Oh, I was about to say Alchemist used to work with a lot of people too. So
like those 3
Thundercat,
vinyls was the ones I got that gave me like got me like the itch of like now I'm like I'm gonna collect them.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, when you're picking vinyls to sample, are you going off of stuff that you recognize you've already heard? Like you're like, ooh, like are you going into a store kind of being like, okay, I know, like
what I'm going for,
what you're going for, or is it a matter of like looking and maybe just like you've heard of an artist and you're like, I fuck with this artist, I think I might dig him, or is it just like based off the cover how it looks, you're like, this just speaks to me? Like
yeah, all of the above actually, because sometimes I know what I want to get and I'll be like, yeah, I'm looking for this record. Sometimes I don't know what I want to get and I'll just go for a general idea of what I'm thinking of, how I want this shit to sound. Sometimes I rhythm roulette this shit, and I don't know if y'all ever seen that. Yeah. But sometimes I do that, go in there, just pick shit out, crate dig, and like find shit, and it's pretty random, man. But I always end up finding. Sometimes it's a miss. Sometimes I don't find shit on some of them, but I'll still keep the record. It's a good record. I just maybe couldn't use it.
How's that process of like sampling something from the record like for you into a beat? Like, do you like, is that something you do often? Like, you find the drums from there? Do you load it up? Just like take it up, load up some shit.
I usually. Man, it goes like it's different all the time, because my samples is kind of like sometimes you can recognize, oh, that's that song, and sometimes you can't because of the way I chop the shit up. So I'll chop the fuck out some samples to where you probably won't even recognize what song it is. I use my own drums for the most part, little drum kits and shit, and sometimes I might yay the shit and throw like 3 samples on top of each other, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it don't. That's sometimes a lot of
those parts though are like little soulful parts.
Yeah,
though,
it's like the little soul. I love the soulful shit. I love horns.
Oof, horns are the
horny for the
shit,
horns.
Bro. I love horns.
Yeah.
What's like the best sample that you've come?
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. I think within the 60s and 70s era, it's a lot of good shit. That's a lot of good shit within the 60s and 70s area. I seen some motherfucking shit in the 60s and 70s. It's crazy because one of my homegirls, she lives out here. She produces as well, and I'm always big on like, listening to other people and like what they're doing, and she'll show me these beats. I'm like, where the fuck are you getting these samples? Because I don't know none of this shit. She's like, 60s and 70s, dude. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I gotta go.
That's the era.
And she like literally sits there. It made me start doing this shit. She literally sits there and fucking like what she's listening to in the car, nothing but 60s and 70s shit. Like a playlist of full of shit, and I'm like, I see what you're going. I see what you're doing. Like, but yeah, I think that's like the best. Well, to me, my personal preference now. So.
I think if I was to sample anything, I probably would sample like R&B or like soul, like funk shit, like Marvin Gaye. But outside of that, I feel like that's like melodies and chords and like R&B, like that's the question I go back to. I had a question like for all you guys having to do with samples.
I was about to ask a question on that, so I don't know if you want to ask yours first or not. But I was gonna ask, what's your current favorite song that you've heard that uses a sample, like a song that's out there by another artist that you're just like, ooh,
uses a sample.
I know that sample and I love how they use that.
Damn. Let me see. So I'm trying to think of something.
I could guess what someone's is gonna be. Someone's gonna say this one.
Nah, cause you said that, and it's like, it's almost like, okay, hold on. You gotta have to come back to me on that one. I'm trying to think, but it's kind of like almost like asking what's my favorite song.
I got you. It's hard.
No, it's great. It's a great question. It's just, it hit me.
Yeah, that was tough.
I'll
Only because it's hard for me to know the prominent, like, I'm trying to remember like what songs I'm thinking of that use samples in them prominently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I'm overthinking the shit out of it right now. Hold on. You can come back to me on that.
That's why I said I could guess one. Only one I think of that does use it like extra prominently. We just heard it.
That's what I was gonna say. Just because I was just talking about it.
Yeah. I was like, that's the only one everybody's gonna say like right now.
Yeah, because I just got through watching the Kanye doc, so I'm trying not to think of a Kanye song.
It's hard because he's kind of like the goat on that end of sampling.
Yeah, definitely. He just finds crazy shit.
Definitely.
You know that first Pusha T album, like that one where it's like talking about like addiction or some shit, and it has that crazy sample in it.
Oh, okay.
Where
That's
it's like, where he's like, I forgot what it says or some shit where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, but the hook is like a sample, and it's like some people telling you like they don't know no better. Like,
yeah.
Like, I forgot how that shit goes, but that shit is crazy. Like that way he uses samples in the album is just tough.
You got me thinking. You got me really
You
thinking.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
For me, there's two songs that kind of come. Actually three. First and foremost, that easy one, because I like that one a lot because I was just talking to Wesley about this the other day of how I think that one is like a really good example of using a sample that's like recognizable, that sets a tone, but also putting a flip on it, because like in the idea of like, you know, they're using the sample of easy, but then they're like, my life was never easy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I like that kind of like the juxtaposition of it,
the little flip.
use of it.
That was a great use of it. Yeah.
So like that really stood out to me on that end of it. I also really enjoyed. I can't remember the name. I wish I had my phone, but it's recording right now. But it's one off of the Busta Rhymes album.
Which one?
The newest album. I'm trying to think. It might have been Boom.
Yeah, that's the one you put on the playlist.
Yeah. You put it on the.
What is it called?
You put it on the playlist.
Boom.
Oh, that's a funny name.
That one's. I think that one has like a. Is it like a Poison sample or?
Yeah, it's the one that goes.
Yeah.
That one's super hard. And then
another song's called "Come Back, Baby."
Okay.
That's what it's called.
And then I was trying to think. There was and then there's one that uses a sample in the beginning. It's called I want to say it's called "Sauce" by Manwolves.
Never heard that.
But
sounds hard though.
Yeah, it sounds hard.
They use the sample of Gucci saying like, if you don't got sauce.
Oh, I know.
Oh shit!
The famous
That's
like interview
funny as hell.
Like, he's like the sauce.
They really use that sample.
They use that sample.
They are
and
funny
it goes
as shit for that.
So into the song, and like it's funny because the sample kind of like you wouldn't expect it to go into the song that it does, but it works well, and like I dig that. So,
bro, okay, wait, I got you. So it's off of Faces from Mac Miller, and it's Insomniac. Have you ever seen it's a weird fucking name, but this artist that he sampled, he has so much crazy shit. All of his shit sound like it can be sampled.
What's the name?
Damn, I gotta look that shit up. Wait.
I feel like I maybe if I know the name of it, you can look it up. I feel like I've already heard it. But damn, that album actually might contain some of my favorite sample usage. I forgot about the sample usage in the album. Bro. There's one from a movie that I really like that I would put it on here, where it's like, it just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
It just
from what movie?
What's the name of that movie, bro? It's old. It's like a basketball movie or sports movie.
Yeah, I think it's a racing movie. Wait, hold on.
But yeah, man, that movie is great, bro. And I remember like my dad fucking like telling me about that movie as a kid, bro. Like he would say that part. That's why I rug off my head. He'll be randomly fucking around and just be like, it just doesn't matter. He's like, it just doesn't matter. And then I heard that Mac album and I was like, where the fuck is this from? Like this is crazy. I was like, what the fuck, bro? It just doesn't matter.
Okay, wait, they're not telling me how I'm trying to find it for you guys. Yeah, what movie is that from? Hold on.
Oh, it's in,
there it goes.
It's with Meatballs. Is that the name of the movie?
Is it Meatballs?
No, that's his great motivational speech. Bill Murray. The fuck is the name of the movie though?
Okay, so this is the Insomniac. I just didn't know how to say this dude's name.
Wow.
But if you listen to
Groger.
Yeah.
I probably butchered his name, but it looks pretty cool though.
But if you go listen to like his shit, like search his shit up, oh my gosh, he has some crazy shit. Like,
Interesting.
Wow.
That's dope because I was kind of goes into my I was gonna follow up this question with another question of like.
Yeah, it's called Meatballs. What's the name of the movie?
That's the name of the movie?
That was Bill Murray giving the speech though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was for sure Bill Murray. I just didn't know, like, I thought it was like a sports movie or something.
It was. He was in the yeah.
It was called Meatballs though.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the gym giving them the bro, but that speech was so real. Like to really think, like I think his use of samples, I feel like he would use it to relate to the shit that he was saying,
Yeah.
and it was like really hard because it was like he was saying, and if the part were rung to me, he was just saying like, and if we, you know what I'm saying, if we win the game, and if we didn't win, if we gave our all, and if fucking if they Russian fucking scientists from the other fucking companies rejected us with steroids, and they were like, you telling me it just doesn't matter? And he was saying if we fucking slept for 10 days till our noses bleed, and I was like, that's the part that Mac put in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because he was just saying that like. Just pushing yourself to the brink of being like, you telling me it just wouldn't matter? Like if I just made the dopest shit ever.
Yeah.
That's the way I related it to. Like, you know what I mean?
That's that's crazy.
Because I feel like that's what that album was. It was just being like him kind of proving that like, nah, we could just lock in and make some really good shit. And I don't even got to put it out. I just put it as a mixtape. And
Yeah.
it'll just make as much noise as it would because of it being that good. Like I got
That nice, yeah. That was the great mixtape. That was a great mixtape.
Mhm.
That was the greatest shit from him for me.
For real, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts to me. But the question I was gonna ask was, it was like a little superhero ass question. If you could sample any like no holds bar, like
That was
any,
my question.
anything, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it was anything, but I was gonna specify into like, you know what I'm saying, getting into that. Like, you know, you could sample whatever. What would you sample? Like any movie.
There's nothing off the top of my head. Well, there's stuff that I've played around with that I've shown you, like off like some movies. That if I could get cleared, that'd be sick. But the it's for that John Wick 2. I don't want to say the specific quote yet. But there's like.
There's something in
there that really resonated with me, and there's like other movies and films. I feel like I'd want to play more with like movies and films, like hard lines from that kind of stuff. I like that concept. I was thinking about this because I wanted to ask you guys this question, so I was thinking of the answer for as well, of asking like, what artist would you sample now? Like seeing how like artists sample older artists, and like, because I've talked to you about this, like how.
I think that might have been the question I was gonna ask. If what artist? Because it's easier to say like, what if you could sample any artist, not any song, but just any artist.
Any modern day artist.
Like if you were speaking of like, okay, so maybe 5 years from now or something, you'll sample artists from the day or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even older, like anybody. I'm saying if it was cool, like there was an artist where you're like, yo, like you got the AOK on, like what catalog would you dip into?
For real.
For
But does that count? Like
Yeah.
Does it count? Okay.
Cause you know what I mean, like that's an interesting question. Like if I got the AOK on one catalog, like which one would I dip into to be like, yo, any of these you could chop up any way you want.
I feel like he's dabbled with different sounds, so I was just like, yeah, I'll just go for real.
Yeah, like his beat pack would be the hardest beat pack. The Pharrell beat pack, you know what I mean? Would you just damage you could do with that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might have to hit up Dre for his catalog.
That's hard. You can do some crazy shit with the cinematics of that. I see how that could go.
That'd be
like
crazy.
those sonics, those EQs. There's different EQs right there.
That'd be sick.
On a whole nother level. Sure.
You're like, you don't even gotta make drums no more. I'm taking the Dre drums.
Yeah, for real.
Oh yeah. What are you thinking though?
Me? I mean, that's an easy one. I'll either. Damn. No, I'm really thinking about it. Like Quincy Jones.
Hard.
That's crazy. That I wasn't expecting Quincy Jones.
That's a good one.
That's like I like
that's
words
good.
and shit like that, bro. And like you could really use like any string section.
Yeah.
Any like you can make any song.
Damn. You
As
can
long as
go
you
crazy.
can write the song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And he'll help you.
My strong runner-up, now that I'm really thinking about it, before like I feel like if I didn't say this, I'd be mad at myself for not saying this, is Kanye.
That's what
Kanye,
what I was gonna say, but I was like,
I
got
like
myself off of it.
It's like a cheat code. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
He's so sample based. It's like if I could sample anything he sampled, he's sampling everything. Like
Yeah, for real.
That's why it's a cheat code.
That's funny. Shit. But anything else you want to get into before we get into the life affirmation segment?
I wanted to just touch on I remember you mentioning earlier that you were acting, or you.
Oh yeah, no, I was
photography and shit,
dude. The photography,
extracurricular artistic activities.
Yeah, I try to do everything. I try to be into like all kinds of shit, but photography I got into. That was like tied into my major in college. I was broadcasting journalist, so that shit was pretty awesome. Getting to work with the camera and being behind the scenes with shit. Like I got like a little work in out here since I've been out here. I've been behind the scenes film shooting and stuff like that, and it's been pretty cool. So far so good. And
so do you enjoy being in front or behind the camera?
Both. I think more behind the camera, to be honest. Like shit, I feel like it's a lot of pressure when you're in front of the camera sometimes. Yeah. So
what was your first experience being like acting like in front of the camera?
Acting in front of the shit, man, like high school plays and plays before that, and my grandmother, she used to take me out to like these musicals and shit, so I'd watch all this shit, so I'd be around like music and acting and shit like that. And
so you'd be down to be like a star of a show?
I wish I was that good, bro.
But what would you do, like a theater performance?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I feel like you could do it, bro.
That shit's crazy. Like, do you ever go to like? I'm pretty sure you guys been to musicals before. Like all the fucking music, like it's very cinematic. You know, just to surround the acting is just crazy. And then, you know, of course, vocals on that shit. But
I wonder what goes into the people. This is a random tangent, but I wonder what goes into the motherfuckers that act in the Kanye shits.
Oh,
that are just like
that's
the models.
Question. Yeah.
Like, what is in their mindset? Like, you have to just be like, because you're acting.
Yeah,
there's like instructions and shit you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they just walking through that.
And you're like in a role essentially. Like,
yeah, I don't know. They play it off pretty good though.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that. It'd be tough.
It'd be tough because it's like
it's a lot of
music.
still standing to like just music.
If I was up there, you'd see that one guy like. It's like he's not with everybody.
like he hit a little move.
Yeah. Hey, they're good. They're good because I would be definitely trying not to bob my head to the shit. So.
Yeah, it's already tough not laughing during the scene. Like, you want me to just sit here dead like a robot?
Yeah.
That's real.
For sure.
But yeah, I guess so. So it's not something that's nerve-wracking to you. You had experience with it coming out.
Yeah. So I think that's why I think I enjoy performing more than anything. So that gave me a little experience when I was younger. So
you incorporate that into your performances, like the drama aspect?
Yeah. As far as like placement on stage, like what's the best placement, I get to learn about like shit like, okay, the lighting, it's like small shit that you learn, like even participating in extra shit like that, like acting.
That helps being like aware, cognizant of it. You know what I mean? Because you're just not there, like not knowing what it is. It's like, oh, I know what all this shit is for.
No, especially because I would do these like little I told you I'd be on the rap scene in Houston. I would do these shows and go out to these venues, and I would hear like artists that'll go up there before me and you can't fucking hear them on the mic. I'll be like, as soon as my set, I'll be like, hey, yo, you gonna have to turn this shit up, turn that music down or something, fix the sound. Because you learn all that shit. You learn sound, like you learn the importance to make your performance better, because shit being off, it's just like kind of fucks it up.
Yeah. I've had experience like that for sure at like the workshop we did, where it was like I noticed like other people were coming up like, nah, remember, like they were kind of like, nah, put it this way, put it that way, like doing it themselves. Like I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's good though, and I feel like you outlined, it's good to know the things from behind, so that you, when you get there, you're like, no, I want this fixed this way, fixed that way.
Specific way. Yeah.
Well, that's dope.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had a question on that and I just blanked.
Performing?
Yeah.
And acting, drama?
That'll come to me.
I got a question though. In having to do with just for all of us, I mean, when it comes to performances in general and like the concept of acting in them, how do you feel about like, how do you say, like acts within a performance? Because I've always thought about, because I haven't done too many performances, but I've thought of like the combination of like plays within them. Like, how do you feel like that in a concert? Like, how does that play into like the theatrics of it all? You
like
know what I'm saying?
like little
like
excerpts or little segments and shit. Okay.
Or you think it's just like an energy, like I should just attack it like boom? Or you feel like personally, you know what I'm saying? That's how you
if
feel
you
about
have
it.
stuff in between, I guess as long as it makes sense. I mean, from a creative standpoint, I guess as long as the shit makes sense to you. But shit, I mean, if it makes sense to everyone else and it goes in and I guess it's thought out well, I guess it's right for it. But
that's interesting.
And then kind of like on from that wave, like, do you prefer more like performances that are a little bit more choreographed in the sense, like, I don't know if you dance on stage, I don't know if you've like, or have like certain blocking of like, all right, and this part of the song will be on the right side of the stage, this part of the song will be on the left part of the stage. I don't know, do you do that, or is it more of like a natural free flowing thing when you go on stage?
It's more of natural for me. I do enjoy like when people do set up like little stuff here and there, not too like choreograph where you got like everybody dancing on stage and shit like that. I'm just like it's cool, but I mean maybe not for me. But for me, I just do like a little natural thing. I may like key in some certain things to do for certain cues.
Yeah.
That's what I may do, but I don't just go too hard on like, you know, be dancing around and shit.
Yeah. That's right. Okay.
I don't knock anyone for doing that. It's just not my steez. So
No, I feel you. And in that same vein, now for like the music video side of things, like, do you? I'm not sure. Do you like give consideration like to that, like the more performance side of things, like when?
Then that's
I
when
can see where it comes in. That like you could act in your own videos. You know how it comes in on the treatments of it too.
Right. So that plays a big part. That definitely plays a big part, and that's where more things are choreographed, maybe per se, to where like I'll have this person standing here, and I walk past them at a certain time, and stuff like that. That's when it's more thought out and stuff like that. And sometimes it is a natural vid to where I don't have everything just planned out, but I know where I want to be and kind of sort of what I want to do. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dope.
I mean, shit, I'm down again to the life affirmation segment. All we do, you know, we go around and say one thing that we look at differently in the past week or month. I did have one thing I was going to ask. I mean, I don't know. Since we aren't as familiar with each other, I was going to ask, like, who are some of your favorite artists or inspirations? Like, you know, I know you did say Lil Wayne, but, like, as a whole, you know what I mean?
As a whole,
people you look to is you know, musically, artistically. Shit.
Man, damn, it's a lot of people. That's a very great question because I listen to so much shit and it's my playlist is very weird. But I would say as far as hip hop goes right now, I'm still waiting for K Dot to drop an album. But he's one of the guys, artist called Saba. I fuck with Saba tough, and Cole, of course, Smino, No Name. Gosh, it's a lot.
The Saba album is amazing.
Oh, bro, what? God damn, I see why I like how he takes his time with making shit. I don't knock none of them for taking their time with making shit, because when they do drop some shit, it's just like. So other than that, like it's various artists all across the board, man. Producers, artists in different genres. I can't even think to name them all, but I'll say just, you know, I guess to keep it hip hop, that's who I'm listening to right now. But told you I'm listening to jazz right now, all kind of random shit. So yeah.
All right. So for the life page segment, I think mine, I kind of was talking about it a little bit earlier. I'll start off this time. I've been thinking a lot about music more so, and it has to do with my writing versus my freestyling thing. That's something I've talked about here a lot more, but I guess something I had to look at myself is like the practice of writing that I need to get into more, and it has to do with maybe like going to the stew itself versus like when I'm in the comfortable zone of like the at-home stew or like recording. Because when I'm in that zone, I realize sometimes I have to have stuff like a little bit of things laid out, like somewhat of a plan. Like I could have room to just experiment, but then I like to have like, okay, I'm gonna work on this song, and then, you know, whatever happens from there. And then when I do that, it's like I notice that muscle of like writing. I have to like work that sometimes, because like it's good to have like a full ass written song. Right. So I felt more like accomplished in that sense when it's like, okay, you at least got a written song, and because you go into the stew where you already got the engineer right there, you could get that done, and then you can just experiment with whatever you want. I feel like since it's not my natural thing to do, I like kind of neglected at times, where I'm like, damn, writing, like you said, timing, like having the time to sit down and write sometimes is like a bit, for my schedule at the moment, a little bit like, you know, where I'm like, I know I could feel it, but like sitting down and writing something, but I see the importance of it. Like when you do want to make those other moves of going to the stew, it helps facilitate those better, because then it's like, oh shit, it's like working on something in the meantime. Like I'm working on this to have ready for when that comes, and then when that comes, you just hit that shit like a stride.
Right.
That's kind of how I hit the other time when I made Red Light, Green Light and all that. Like it was like I wrote another song, but one of the songs, it was like that one, I remember I just had like a strong feeling. And it was almost like, and it was similar to some shit I saw in like the Kanye doc, or like I saw where it was like that strong feeling. Like it was something that Pharrell was telling him. Pharrell was telling him when he made the song
Through the Wire.
Through the Wire shit, yeah. Like to keep that same like energy about yourself, like in transferring the shit that you're going through, and being like, when you feel that, and then just going to it and then taking it to this shit. Right. And like I felt that's what I did in that moment. I was like, damn, I see how it translates doper, because like that song's gas, and I'm like, it translated because that was what I was riding that wave of being like, I feel this, like just take it there, yeah, and put it into this.
I think that's how you end up writing your best shit too, because I mean, it'll come to you like just so easily because you're actually going through the shit and you can talk about it. Mm-hmm. And
it feels like clear, almost like your description of it is like dumb clear. All of a sudden you're like, damn, I know the exact words to use to describe this shit.
I think, like you said, it feels clear. It feels right. Like it's a moment where that innate feeling of like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Like that, I think, is like the check mark. Like this was how it was supposed to be done. You know, mm-hmm. That's dope. That's dope. I think one thing that I've been thinking of lately has been the idea of legends, like the importance of having legendary tales in time, and like what that does to us. Like it both inspires people and it both like deters people from doing things. It inspires people by seeing like the idea of something on the good end of legendary status, of like, oh wow, they achieved this height, or something achieved this, I want to emulate that. But then there's also the legends of like, if you do this will happen. You know what I mean? Like a story of like that, and that in itself keeps people from going to certain things, and like whether that's a good or bad thing, it's like something that's played like a huge important role in history and like life. And it was something that I didn't think about it too much until someone said, like, because it was in regards to this whole Russia situation, right? And there was like stories of a certain Ukrainian pilot that is taking down like a bunch of Russian soldiers, and people are saying like, is it true, is it not true? And it's like, what matters more is the story that it is, because that alone inspires people to fight back, and also inspires others to be afraid. You know what I mean? And like sometimes the importance in that, and just the idea of a story, of a legend, of like that concept, how much it can like kind of sway something on either side of things. And that's just been something I've just kind of been reflecting on a lot lately, and kind of seeing like, analyzing a little bit of like different quote unquote legendary stories in my life, and like different tales that have been told, or call them tales, but like different things that have been told to you, and just kind of like assessing it as like, wow, this really kind of helped shape me to be this because off this. But in reality, like I can't confirm 100% what this story is or isn't to be true, but like just the fact that story exists was enough to sway my perspective towards this, you know? Right. And I don't know, it's just been something that I've just been reflecting on lately.
So with the legend thing, you're thinking either, okay, on the flip side, you were saying, is it like you're thinking of what comes with that like status of being a legend? Or
from the flip side, it's more of like,
I think you mean like, legend in the term of like like white lie in the sense of not white lie, but say like a legend can be something as if like it's the legend of some shit, like not you yourself as a legend, but like the legend of like the Legend of Zelda or some shit like that, where it's like, oh, if you do this and that, this will happen type shit. Kinda. And I guess the idea of that, like that, a lot of times is used for a reason, but sometimes it's based in like, it may not be like, it's based in different things, you know what I'm saying, like but the reason it's used is that reason you described a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, where it's like to provide some type of overarching like guide or information on a situation, you know what I'm saying, where it's like guide really, like
exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, because like the way I thought about it, it still ties into the like the second part where you talking about Ukraine and everything. It still ties into that, so I was like, oh shit, so my bad.
no but I get what you're saying though, because like that is like the second like, because on the part of like the inspire, it's like to get there, like this is what happens, like sometimes we have to go through, and so like there is that matter of like seeing like the journey to get to somewhere, but also mostly like what, you know, I was kind of leaning on what Wesley was talking about, was like the idea of being shaped by a story, being shaped by like whether it was true or not.
And it's crazy that some of those stories do be the shit that save us and guide us to certain shit, because it's like the fact, if you know, like, yo, it's a bear over there. That one dude like a couple months ago went over there and got smoked by a bear. Like,
you're not gonna go.
You could doubt that shit if you want. But like, you might have saved your life believing that. Like, that might be the legend that held true. Like,
hell yeah,
exactly. But yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Definitely. I mean, y'all had some really
and
cool
now it's
shit.
your turn for your shit. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, I don't even know.
I was gonna say, it's one of those things though where you don't gotta take it too deep if you don't want to.
Oh, mine is not deep at all. I just
because it's you know, it's kind of on the spot. We don't expect people to come through ready to like. Fucking, you know?
I was like, oh shit, nah. I mean, I guess like my thing is I just been trying to focus on like better health. So since I've been out here, I've been really doing that shit, like fucking going on like hikes and shit every other day, and fucking eating way better. So I'm feeling way better. Like, I think, you know, you feel better, you know, you feel good about yourself and stuff, and it kind of puts me in a good spirit. And now the stuff that I'm making, like music wise, how that ties in, it just puts me in different spirits, more positive spirits. So I think like probably like the next shit I work on is probably gonna sound really colorful, super happy or some shit. I don't know, but I'm definitely in good spirits, and
you say it's reflective of like your diet and
it's
your health.
My health and stuff like that. You just like have more energy to do shit like throughout the day, and like may have like long days, like after this gotta still do shit, but I have the energy to do shit, like, and that's that's important to me. So you know, super blessed to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. For real. It was great having you, and hope we get to, you know, collaborate or do some music or something soon.
Let's please, yes.
Do something, bro. Yes. I feel like this is one of those things where, like you said, everything happens for a reason, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you again for coming. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thanks. Peace.
We got another one for real. Mind Tree Radio.
Best shit in life is something you gotta work for, wait for it, even if you don't even get paid for it. This for all them sleepers nights when they had days off. I ain't taking no more vacations till I flip 8 bars. Keys where I drop them beats feel like my nigga Key. Bands loot, been up in the stoop without a single treat. Your man is sick, no pandemic, no hands with it, with this damn ship like I was whipping a damn Titanic. Way I'm surfing in this bitch, I know y'all feel the wave. Bitch, this ain't no Lil Yachty, but I take it base to base like I've been batting with the Braves. Man, I feel like Frank. Tell my babe to hit me with that Novocaine. Then we fucked the Novocaine. Bars harder, verse smarter. Should've been featured the third Carter. Emerged author from out the H. I don't need a single cosign, a nigga need a drink. I don't pledge allegiance, pledge to God, holy grace. Idols follow me, chicks wanna follow me, hoes wanna swallow me, but I don't feel the pressure. Hannibal Lecter on these beat rappers get 8 like almost every second. You get 8 right after 7, bitch. Yeah, you get 8 right after breakfast, bitch. When I dive into the water, feel that subatomic pressure. Heard they searching for an artist. Think I found me a canvas. What's up? Little niggas.
But it's like once all of those artists like get mainstream and have sat in that mainstream success for a while, it's like they all just eventually like kind of phone it in.
I'll be damned if I ever go mainstream. Not me. Daydream.
Sound like money over here.
I'll be damned if I ever go mainstream.
Put that out. We
Not
in the
me.
studio right now.
This daydream.
Yeah. Yeah. Wade in the water, I'm feeling the waves. They stick to the scripts while I'm burning the page. This money ain't nothing unless it's a lot of it. I got a little, now I'm on the plane. Bitches gon' lie when they claim I'm their favorite. I cannot lie, won't get used to the fame. I am who I am, I'm just stuck in my ways. And when it work out, I'ma flex on my grip. The pad is exclusive, drinks are inclusive, dawg. I got a hell of a taste. We that shit loud over here, but y'all shit, it be mumbling. I cannot hear what you saying, little nigga. I cannot hear what you saying. I cannot hear what you saying, little nigga. I cannot hear what you saying. Yeah. I cannot hear what you saying, little nigga. I cannot hear what you saying. No, I cannot hear what you saying, little nigga. I cannot hear what you saying. Nah, that's it. Band's here. Hey, I know you heard that shit real loud, man. I just gave him something to warm him up, just something real cool, real quick, real calm and collected, whatever.
I'll be damned if I ever go mainstream. Not me.
At all. Hey. Look, they just feeling the waves a little bit. This the
I'll be
mainstream.
damned if I ever go
So,
mainstream.
I'm gonna give them a little something else real quick just to satisfy as we move into this a little further.
I'll be damned if I ever go mainstream.
That's a
Not me.
hotel. Hey man, I ain't never lied. Tell the truth, I ain't never
I'll be
died.
damned if I ever go